In this episode, I'm talking about the 3 systems I use in my business on a daily basis and how you can level up your workflows and systems too. Go ahead, push play, and I'll catch you on the inside. Welcome back, Bold Move Besties. Now, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform of choice, and let's go on into it. So today, I want to talk about 3 workflows that I use in my business for success. I'm going to off the break just tell you what the 3 are because I don't believe in this whole suspense thing. So my first one is a CRM system, and that's customer relationship management system, a task management system, and then a digital content system. Okay, so those are my top 3. And now I want to break down how I use the top 3. So before I go into the how, let me just say it is important as a business owner to be aware of the systems or lack thereof in your business. And you might say, well, how do I know if I have correct systems or not? Easy. I'm going to give you a really easy identifier. If you are repeatedly doing the same thing over and over and you don't have it written down, you probably don't have a system. You might have it all in your head. That's like the first step. So get those standard operating procedures together. But that next step is start building out a system that works for you. Now, I've talked about it a number of times on the podcast, and I will continue to talk about it. Airtable is what I use for our systems and our workflows. And inside of Airtable, we are able to capture, for instance, in our CRM, the gamut of things. So all the way from potential clients to potential partners to potential contractors that we can use to staff projects. And I say that loosely because they're actually technically in the CRM is a sub base in Airtable that we use that kind of manages people resources. But there's a sync there for a reason. I'll get to that in a second. But the importance of having systems in your business allows you to free up the brain space that it takes to have to remember what to do every single time and instead have a way to systematically do it. Now, if you're a team of 1, which is quite all right, we all have to start somewhere. If you're a team of 1, that really is writing down your standard operating procedures, thinking about how you are stepping through various things in your business from a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis to be able to figure out, okay, what systems are going to work for me. So for us with the CRM, we actually use it to do potential prospecting of agencies in the government space. We do it to build relationships with various program offices, with the OSDBU office, which is like the small business office, like is the advocate for small businesses within various agencies. We use it to be able to track interactions and conversations with government workforce contacts. And that's basically in our base, we call it government workforce because they are to us they're the employees of the government, but they are the people that we're trying to build relationships with. Where we contrast that is government contractors or potential vendors. And so both of those we house in the same base, but it allows us to at a glance, look at, what are the upcoming opportunities that we're trying to pursue for our targeted focused agency? Because remember, for us, we always have 3 agencies at any given quarter that we are targeting to build the relationship, to get contracts with and develop that rapport so we can land contracts. And so for us, our CRM as a team on the government side, so maybe I should give some context here. So I have kind of 2 sides of the house of my team. We have the government side of my team, which I have an acquisition strategist, myself, and a contract sourcing person. And then I have I call it the creative side of my team. So I'm going to put that delineation up front because here in a minute when I talk about my content calendar, the creative team will come into play. So on the GovCon side with my team, we are looking at things like relationships, how frequently are we reaching out? And in Airtable, we've built up systems and processes that remind us to go notify or go follow up with a particular point of contact, especially if it's a target agency. But if it's outside of our quarterly target agency focus, we still develop those relationships. Just because we're focused on a particular agency at a point in time doesn't mean we forgo all the other relationships and the relationship equity that we built up since, we've shifted agency focuses. So we do still have it, just the frequency of following up is not always as, I'm not gonna say fast paced, but it's not always as often as it would be if it's a targeted agency focus. And so for us in Airtable, we have an entire dashboard where we're looking at metrics and measures that allow us to see, hey, are we, having the correct number of touch points when we're reaching out to the government workforce folks? Are we making meaningful connections and developing a relationship, or is there something stagnant where we may need to switch who's reaching out to said person? We're able to look at, hey, how many people have we actually touched this week? Have we reached out to? Have we called? Have we emailed? Have we texted? Because some folks like text. I mean, granted, we don't, when we do get a phone number, we don't misuse it. I'll say that. But sometimes we do get the courtesy of having a text conversation, and then we'll take it on to, the more formal phone or email. But it allows us to see at a glance what that looks like. And what that has enabled me to do as the business owner is to kind of take a step back and say, okay, overarching, we have these resources working and having these relationships being developed. We see this amount of pipeline coming in. So these are the opportunities and contracts that we're looking at. And I will also say our CRM, while it's focused on building our relationships with the government workforce, building our relationships with vendors and, our potential subcontractors, we also have the ability to link any pipeline. Pipeline's not going to be in this conversation. I'll link another episode where I talk about the pipeline tracker, but we're able to link any pipeline opportunities to the resource, so to the agency, as well as to the person within our CRM. And so I built it all out in Airtable, and there's a number of automations that just allows me to know at any given time where we are in our deal process, but it also lets me know where we may be lacking or where I may need to bring someone else onto the team for, which I've done in the past. And so I'm saying that because when you get into government contracting, or even just consulting in general, if you have a small business and you're building up relationships and building your customer database, you want to be on top of it. You don't want to be, oh, did I call this person here? Or when was the last time I texted them or emailed them? Like, if you have a system together, you can look and see, oh, the last time we interacted was insert date and time, right? Or, it's been a bit, maybe I should follow up, instead of kind of just, throwing sand in the air. I'm done with the quotes. But instead of just trying to, figure it out off the fly, you having a system that actually lets you know that, hey, it's time for you to go follow up with your point of contact, or it's time for you to go follow up with this client or this customer. That's what the CRM allows us to do. What's up, Bold Move besties? Guess what I'm offering? Government contract coaching for small businesses. It is your opportunity to get the real, the relevant, and the way to do government contracting correctly with the federal, local, and state government. Inside, you will get details on how to start in government contracting all the way through winning your first contract, which is, by the way, not guaranteed, but we're trying to get you there. So if you're interested, please sign up in the link below, and I will catch you in the next cohort. Go ahead and apply today. Visit readyswipegov.com to get started. It also allows us to take notes. So one of the things that I love about, for me, being able to be in Airtable and like keeping things dynamic is we're able to track like news or articles or posts that align with a specific agency or align with someone in the government workforce. So for instance, I'll give you a real example. So for instance, if someone in, let me pick a department, let's say NASA, someone in NASA has a post that we're already building a relationship with, and we see their post on LinkedIn, we're going to automatically go in and copy the URL for LinkedIn and drop it into Airtable, and it associates to said person. And what that lets us do is over time just have little almost like a data trail, but little pieces of information that we can continue to stay abreast on and stay top of mind on when we carry on the conversation. And so to me, like having that synchronization is paramount. And I'm saying it from the lens of a team, but even if I did not have a team and it was just me, I would still want to capture that, or you should still, I encourage you to capture things like that. Whether or not you're in the government space, that's okay. The principle is still the same. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into one of the workflows that I literally use on a daily basis. The other one that I use on a daily basis it's a base that I nicknamed our team task base, and task as in TASK. But team stands for team task, so the T part. E is for execution, and measures. So what this base does for the team is So I'll go and I'll set our quarterly focus. I'll look at what are the metrics that we want to measure against. How many connections do we want to make? How many capability briefs do we want to have? How many contracts are we trying to close for a quarter? And then I'll break it down in a month. And then the team gets a view, a dashboard view. Again, all of this is in Airtable, but they get a dashboard view to say, okay, what is our focus for the quarter? And then whenever they have a task that's being done, this is all Airtable, but there's a form that they fill out and it associates to that task. And they're able to associate their task to a measure so that when I go in or when someone else on my team goes in to check our performance, we could say, are we meeting this goal? Are we not? Are we on track? Are we missing it? Do we need to do something to, offset or change how we're doing it? Or have we just surpassed it? And so having the numeric measures helps in that regards, but then having the team associate whatever tasks there are to a measure lets me know where are we as a team spending the most of our time. And that's both from the creative team as well as the government side of the team. So it's helpful for the team because they know, hey, this is what we're tracking to. We need to make sure we're meeting these metrics, or hey, we're slipping on these metrics. And it also helps because it lets them visually see, it's like a graph of sorts that says, this is our target, this is where we're at, this is a point in time of where we are, and they can see how we're performing. So I like that base because it allows for the granularity. If we're not as it allows for the granularity of capturing various details of the day-to-day things that the team may need to do. For instance, there may be something that needs my attention, but I'm serving a client at the time, or I'm in client calls, or in this case, recording the podcast. So they can assign tasks to me, but when they assign them to me, it goes to me and it goes against one of the measures that we're looking at for the quarter. Now, the cool thing that I think I like about this the most is once I've set the objectives and the measures for the quarter and the team has met them, we get we have a virtual party because we're all in different areas of the globe, but we have a virtual party just to celebrate the fact that, hey, we actually made this goal. Now, when we miss it, we debrief. I mean, no matter what we debrief, but we debrief at the end of the quarter and say, okay, what is it that we could have done differently? How, was this too ambitious of a goal with our team? Do I need to look, Claudia, me, do I need to look at capacity, resource capacity, so people capacity, and bring on more people to take on various elements of our different sales cycles or our creative process? So that particular base for us is almost like it really is an internal base that we use, but I developed it in a way so that it's intuitive for them and it's not overwhelming, which is why we use the interface side of Airtable. And it also allows them to be proactive and, assign themselves tasks, assign me tasks if I need something that needs my attention. But then it also allows everyone to see how we're tracking as a company. So I encourage you, even again, if you are a person of one, just get started. Just start assigning yourself tasks. And if Airtable is not your jam, pick a tool. Trello, Asana, ClickUp, all of them. They're all available. I'm just speaking from the tool that I use and I leverage the most, but adapt it to how you work and how you function. It could be Google Sheets if that works for you, or Google Docs. But think of how you can start tracking your tasks. Like, what is that going to look like? What are your outcomes? What are your goals? And make it numeric. Yes, you can do qualitative goals, but and I'm not opposed to them. I do have that in there as well. I just didn't touch on it, but I strongly believe that even if you look at the qualitative side, always have a number tied to it so you can track and measure your performance. Are you making enough phone calls? Are you reaching out to enough people? Are you closing enough deals? Because income's revenue's a real thing, right? So having that for us is helpful. I will say the addition that I did add in the team tracker this year was to be able to include performance to goal, which basically means did we sell this amount of product? Or it's actually a service package, but in the case of context of what we're talking about, did we sell this number of products, yes or no? And are we on target to either exceed it or are we under it? And that helps them see, okay, well, I see that I need to ratchet up my my outreach, being able to talk to different individuals, or I need to, on the creative side, I need to change how I'm representing certain call to actions when we have various social graphics that go out. So I think it helps us. Again, we do debriefs on a quarterly and a monthly basis, but the quarterly one gives us the overarching, okay, this is how we're performing. And that team's task database helps us to be able to know how we're doing. All right. So the last one that I wanted to talk about, which is this one was my first really elaborate, I'll say, or advanced base that I created for the team, which is we call it the digital media calendar, but most people call it a content calendar. Ours is a content calendar and then some. So in this case, the content calendar helps us to manage the entire life cycle of an asset. An asset for us could be anything from a video clip to a graphic to an audio. I mean, anything that you could think of from a digital media perspective, the team in that calendar is what houses it. So we don't use it to schedule posts. Like, it doesn't post for us. We have other tools that do that, but it does allow us to have a task have an asset in a not started phase and see it all the way through to publish scheduled. And there's automations and all this fun stuff behind the scenes that allows us to track the performance, track the progression of the asset, both from a graphic standpoint and a copy standpoint. So perfect example, this podcast. So we have our own base for the podcast, but then there are elements of this podcast and elements that come out of this podcast, like episode, thumbnails or B-roll or BTS scenes, so all of those are little pieces that go into the content calendar, and we plan out for it in the content calendar, but we're able to associate whatever episode or whatever season of the podcast that we're in to it, and it keeps everybody on the same page. So I have a project manager, I have a graphics designer, I have a content coordinator, all on the team who's able to help move all of those pieces. And I have an email copywriter as well. So I think that what it allows them to do, and I'm always asking for feedback because y'all know I'm a data person. And as a data person, I can sometimes overcomplicate things. And so I like to get feedback from my team to know, hey, is this working? Is this not working? Do I need to create a different view so that it's more streamlined or simpler or easy to understand for the team? So we're always growing in that regards. I do believe that, once a system works, it's locked and loaded, like keep it moving, but be open for improvements, be willing, especially if you're the one creating it, and be willing to take on the feedback. I'm not gonna say criticism, it's more so feedback, like for what works and what doesn't, so that you don't have to be sitting there doing stuff, inside the system every day, all day. Now, I'm a little different because I actually like it. So my team knows that this Airtable is my jam, and configuring and making all this stuff happen is like really fun for me. But what I enjoy even more than that is making it so that it's simpler for them, but still provides the viewpoint or vantage point that I need to understand how our content is rolling out. So think about it. I want you, Bold Bestie, because I love homework. We're always going to have homework here. I want you to think about what system in your business that may be lacking or you may need to add as a workflow. So what system in your business may be lacking or you need to add to as a workflow in your business? And comment below. I'm curious, or hit me up in the DMs. Either way, I'm curious to know, what is that system for you? Until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. Bye.